Teen dating violence. House Bill 121 is the act that requires school districts in Texas to adopt and implement a dating violence policy. Dating violence policy must include a definition of dating violence, must address safety planning, must include enforcement of protective orders, must include school-based alternatives to protective orders, must address training for school personnel, must address counseling for affected students, and must include awareness education for students and parents. What is dating violence? An act by an individual that is against another individual with whom that person has or has had a dating relationship, and that is intended to result in physical harm, bodily injury, assault, or sexual assault, or that is a threat that reasonably places the individual in fear of imminent physical harm, bodily injury, assault, or sexual assault, but does not include defensive measures to protect oneself. In other words, the intentional use of physical, sexual, verbal, or emotional abuse by a person to harm, threaten, intimidate, or control another person in a dating relationship. National statistics. 1 in 11 adolescents report being a victim of physical dating abuse. 1 in 5 female high school students report being physically and/or sexually abused by a dating partner. Acceptance of dating abuse among friends is one of the strongest links to future involvement in dating abuse. Texas statistics. 75% report having experienced dating violence or knowing someone who has. 1 in 2 Texas teens reported having experienced dating violence personally, and 60% of females surveyed experienced dating violence, either verbal abuse, physical violence, or sexual violence. Teen dating violence in schools. Approximately 43% of teen dating violence victims reported that the dating abuse occurred in a school building or on school grounds. Girls with a history of physical and/or sexual dating violence are more likely to engage in substance abuse, engage in risky behaviors before the age of 15, have multiple sexual partners, have been pregnant, have attempted suicide the previous year. 4 to 6 times more likely for pregnancy than non-abused peers, and 8 to 9 times more likely for suicide than non-abused peers. Safety planning is used to assess risk and identify actions to increase safety for victims. It includes important telephone numbers, including law enforcement, helplines, and community organizations. It identifies supportive peers and adults at home and school, and outlines specific strategies for avoiding abusive situations and getting help when needed. Enforcement of protective orders and school-based alternatives. Information will be communicated to appropriate school personnel to ensure enforcement of protective orders at school. A system for students to report incidents or threats to campus administration for investigation. Development of a school-based agreement to require offenders to avoid victims or face further disciplinary consequences. May involve schedule changes, lunch changes, etc., and includes identifying supportive adults on campus for all involved students. Training and awareness resources include the Texas Council on Family Violence, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and local domestic violence and/or sexual assault awareness and education programs. What to do when teen dating violence occurs. Report any incidents to campus administrators for investigation. Refer to appropriate staff, including counselors, school nurse, to address student needs and to develop a plan to support students involved. Closing thoughts. Effective prevention of dating violence involves all members of a school community in promoting healthy relationships. Healthy relationships equals safer schools. Additional resources are available from the Texas Governor's Commission for Women, Texas Council on Family Violence Red Flags Project, Dating Violence Resource Center National Center for Victims of Crime, National Youth Violence Prevention Resource Center, Choose Respect Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The Expect Respect Program Manual Safe Place, Teen Action Campaign, Liz Claiborne, Family Violence Prevention Fund, Texas Association Against Sexual Assault STAR Program, Texas Advocacy Project Teen Justice Initiative. This concludes your Alvin ISD compliance training on teen dating violence prevention. Thank you for watching.